Much as I thoroughly enjoy all the conversation with friends and colleagues about the industry and ChatGPT and ChatGPT and ChatGPT, it's always nice to be able to find out a little more about them personally. So my friend Kevin Rowe is a successful entrepreneur and founder and CEO of the digital marketing agency Purelinq, based in Miami. He was a supporting sponsor of the conference, and it was great to see him as, like many others, we hadn't seen each other in person for years. So Kevin's been around in the industry for a while. We could have just chatted about you know what, but he mentioned a very interesting little initiative that he had started recently. So let's find out what the connection is between that huge mess of plastic waste known as the Great Pacific Garbage Patch and SEO. Let's find out. You've been in the industry since
2009.
2009, yeah. So you've been around for a while, and you have Purelinq,
correct,
which is your agency in Miami. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So most of the conversations that I've been having, actually, it's been interesting because they haven't all just been about ChatGPT, although there's been quite a lot of that in there. But just trying to find out what else people do in their lives other than just their job, you know. And you and I were chatting yesterday, and of course we started talking about the industry, but then you mentioned to me that you've got this new initiative that was going on, which I thought was really a very cool idea. So do you want to give me a kind of indication of how you had this idea, how it started, and what the intention is?
Sure. So despite, running a few companies, right, and I'm a serial entrepreneur,
yep.
But I have found a necessity to be active and work out every day for my own sanity, right? And when I moved to Florida, one of the things, I've always had a passion for sailing, so I'm a sailor. I have a passion for free diving as well. I learned to free dive when I moved to Florida, and spearfish.
Wow, you're an action man.
I try to do a lot of things. And I'm an autodidactic. I love to learn. And so I just love to learn new things. This is it's just an addiction for me, but also it keeps my sanity, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think any serial entrepreneur has that insanity to them.
You've got to be a little bit crazy, I think, to do some of the things that you do and make some of the decisions that you make.
You do. But we were free diving, and if you know how free diving works, you do a breathe up. So you're sitting out in the middle of the ocean, you're holding onto a small buoy with a few people, and you start by looking down at so you're just looking down to the deeps of the ocean. Well, one day a pilot whale swam under the group of us. A pilot whale is, could be like a 10 to 15 foot long white whale.
Wow.
And it's one of the most beautiful scenes I've ever, the most amazing experiences of my life, for sure. Aside from obviously having my daughter and what I do with her on a daily basis, that's number one. But in that experience, while that whale was swimming by us, followed by the whale was plastic bags.
Wow.
And not small ones, pieces of plastic. So for me, I've always been, being in the water, and so obviously I swim as well very heavily. So I've done Ironmans, half Ironmans, and so I spend a lot of time in the water doing things: sailing, swimming, free diving, spearfishing.
I have to tell you, when I'm in the water, I'm on an airbed sleeping. That's it, seriously.
So that's when I came up with the idea of SEOcean. So what I want to do is raise awareness in the SEO community about the ocean plastic pollution problem. I think that's all I can do. SEO community is my community, and it's not all I can do, but it's something I can do now.
Yep.
Which is a part of it's a part of something that I'm already doing for my companies, right? So if I can integrate that into part of my marketing, and it doesn't cost any extra, it doesn't take any more time. As a matter of fact, I have gained a lot of interest in the SEO community about this specific problem. And so one idea, I prepared for this about 3 weeks ago, and then I started to design and print my own trade show swag out of recycled ocean plastics.
Yep.
So the idea for me was that trade show swag I'd say a vast majority of it ends up in the dumpster.
Yeah, it gets thrown out. Yeah.
It gets thrown out. So instead of bringing swag to give out to people, I'm using this as an opportunity just to raise awareness that show people that you can actually create create your swag out of recycled ocean plastics. So I've designed the process to do this. I found a supplier for 3D filament that is made out of either plastic that's on its way to the ocean or plastic that's being pulled out of the ocean. And what I'm going to do is I've actually seen a lot of interest. We've been hearing about this.
Yeah, yeah. How big is the problem? Yesterday you mentioned to me like this. Everybody's seen, I think, images of it on TV of this like plastic in the ocean, this huge area.
The Great Garbage Patch, the Pacific Garbage Patch.
Yeah.
Right. I'm calling it the Grabbage Patch because so that is actually roughly 100. It's 1 million square miles.
Holy crap.
In the Pacific, just floating around there, roughly. And so that's the size of Texas.
Man.
Where we are right now, right? So we are sitting on potentially a garbage, we could be sitting on a garbage mound. And for me, that seems unnecessary, right?
Completely, yeah.
And the U.S. contributes something like 38 million tons of plastics to, it ends up in the ocean every year.
Yeah.
Again, those numbers, depends on where you've pulled the numbers from, and what the source is, and you'll get multiple different numbers from that, but it illustrates the size of the problem. And I challenge you to find somebody that has swam in the ocean or surfs or free dives or even boats and hasn't seen or tried to, or had to pick up garbage out of the ocean themselves.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it isn't. It's a huge problem. Actually, you just made me think about what you were saying about all of that conference swag, which is usually made out of plastic, and it ends up in the bin.
Yep.
Yeah, maybe for the next show, you should make a bin out of the plastic.
That's a great idea.
Yeah, and put the logo on it. Yeah, I think I might patent that one.
I love it.
So. How do you take the initiative forward? What is it that you need to do? I mean, we're going to have some people watching this. What do you want to ask people to do to help to support this? Do they join a club with you and only use plastic from the ocean, or?
So I'm still developing this. Again, I signed up for this show for Pubcon roughly 30 days ago, and a week after that, I started developing the SE Ocean initiative further.
Wow.
So it's still evolving, but you can go to purelinq.com/SEOcean, SEO, SEOCESN. Okay. I was looking at that backwards. That was a little hard to read backwards.
And it was upside down,
but so I'm still developing out the content on that page. I'm going to actually develop out more of a subdomain for it, and then I'm going to give everybody I'm going to give all the instructions about how I actually made this material, or made this swag. I'm going to give them the suppliers for the 3D, the filament that is used in the 3D printers. And then I'm also just going to, and if you can just share the page. The big part of it is if you can share the content that talks about this issue, right? That's the biggest thing I think anybody can do. It's very simple. And I'd say that's like step number one. But anybody that's listening to this who is going to be doing a trade show in the future, I challenge you to think of ways that you can use recycled ocean plastics in your trade swag instead of creating or ordering it from a printer that's going to just use new plastics.
Exactly,
rather.
which just introduces more into the ecosystem. So, sorry, the URL again, it's purelinq.com/SEOcean. SEOcean.
SEOCEAN.
So go and visit that page and do whatever you can, because I think Kevin, who always has these brilliant ideas, this is a good one. I think it's a really good cause, and go ahead and support. And Kevin, thank you very much for coming in to join me.
Thanks, Mike.
And that URL again, the right way around and the right way up, purelinq.com/SEOcean. And you'll find a lot of information about just how bad the plastic in the ocean situation really is and how you can help just a little to eliminate at least some of it. And that's it for part 1 of this 2-part special. Part 2 is available right now. I'll see you there.